Come to Providence Place, owned by the Sisters of Providence for retirees looking for an ideal rental setting to continue their active, independent lifestyles. We offer bright 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, a magnificent chapel with daily mass, restaurant-style dining, wellness and entertainment programs, all with a friendly community spirit on beautiful grounds. Call for a tour, 413-534-9700.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Real, we'll introduce you to the founder of Harmony House, one of the newest agencies funded by the annual Catholic Appeal, a home where people can spend their last days in peace and comfort. Dan Dumas has the latest news from the Diocese of Springfield. And Mark Giza shares his picks for this year's Oscar winners. These stories and more are just ahead on this edition of Reel to Real. Hello and welcome to Reel to Real. The 2019 Annual Catholic Appeal is now underway, funding from which supports this weekly news magazine program. One of the new agencies receiving funding from the Annual Catholic Appeal of the Diocese of Springfield this year is Harmony House of Western Massachusetts, an organization providing respect for life with end-of-life care. Kathy Harrington explains this home for the dying is the mission of one very determined woman.
I just hope and pray that I live long enough to see Harmony House at its completion.
Ruth Willemane, founder of Harmony House of Western Massachusetts, has good reason to believe she will see the completion. After opening its doors in a temporary location in June of 2017, renovation plans for the future home of Harmony House are in the works.
Everyone has a mission to accomplish during their life, and that's when I really felt this is the mission God wants me to do. A home for the terminally ill, so they don't have to die alone or in pain.
Born in Holyoke, Ruth and her siblings attended Our Lady of Perpetual Help Grammar School. She was sent to New Hampshire to attend a Catholic high school.
My mother said I was always in trouble with the boys, so this way I was out of her hair. By sending me to New Hampshire, good. The nuns will take care of her.
Ruth headed off to college and to begin her 45-year career as a teacher in Catholic schools.
Well, I taught in New York City in one school up on the 7th floor where I could see the Brooklyn and the Manhattan bridges from my classroom. It was my first year of teaching. I had 48 children, which included 3 sets of identical twins, and of course they all dressed alike. It was a challenge.
Wrapping up as a teacher in West Springfield, Ruth found a second career.
When I retired in '99, that's when I became a hospice volunteer. I am now in my 20th year of being a hospice volunteer.
It was her time in the nursing homes that led to the creation of Harmony House.
When these people would say, Ruth, no one ever comes to visit me. Would you come and once a week, once a month, just so I can talk to someone? Ruth, if you didn't come to visit me, I wouldn't have any company at all. But when this one little lady told me, Ruth, will you come to my funeral? I don't want to be alone in church. That's what, and I says, okay, Lord, I've got to do something. You know the plans. I don't. Inspire me.
Ruth was inspired to create a home for the dying, where people would not be alone in their final days and hours. But first came years of fundraising.
On a visit to Spencer, when I went to visit the Trappists, I love going to Spencer, listen to them sing the office. And then I'd go to they had a little store at the time, they were selling books. I saw the candy. I said, Trappisting candy. I bought a box. I was sold on it. So I called the nuns and everything, and this is how we started.
Creating a board of directors and working with a group of volunteers, Ruth set out to raise enough money to purchase a small house.
The way everything happened, this house happened to be vacant. And the vice president of the board, Pam Quirk, knew of people. She grew up in this neighborhood. So, of course, she knew people. Well, to make a long story short, she knew the Allard family, and they're the ones who made this possible for us.
In June 2017, the 5-room ranch on Pendleton Avenue opened as the temporary location for Harmony House of Western Massachusetts. Its first resident moved in shortly after, a woman who chose to end years of dialysis.
And I said, Eden, I said, this is home. It's your home. She didn't have any place to go. She says, I would have passed in the back seat of a car probably.
There is no charge to stay at Harmony House. Currently limited to 2 residents at a time, referrals come through hospitals and hospices in Western Massachusetts. The volunteers make the residents as comfortable as possible. The length of their stays varies.
We've had one day. They come to us, they're so ill that as 5 days, 10 days, but we had one that actually went over the 3-month period.
The permanent Harmony House location on View Street in Chicopee will accommodate more residents.
Well, we're going to start off with 4 because there's so much that has to be done in renovating this house. It might have to be done in sections. It all depends on how much money we can raise. I'd love to have it all done at once. That way the residents would not have to be disturbed when they're working on the next section of the house.
Since first envisioning a home for the dying 10 years ago, the plans in her mind have changed a bit.
I now see God's wisdom in having us start off with 2 beds in this small house. So we knew what our weaknesses were, we have a chance to correct them. So when we're ready, when that house is ready for us, we will be ready. And there won't be any issues at all.
Located just a few miles from the temporary home, the View Street house has 2.5 acres of land. The new home has great potential. It's been gutted, and the plans for the renovation are laid out.
I dare to say that in 2019 we'll have at least 4 bedrooms. Hopefully we'll have 8 to 10 by the time this is completed. But sometimes we have a waiting list, but we always have to take the neediest and the one that's the closest to passing.
With more rooms for residents and for the staff, the new Harmony House will also feature a chapel.
That is a must. A chapel, call it a meditation room if you'd like. I know we can't have the Blessed Sacrament present, so a place where either the family or the residents can go. We're going to have a cross hanging because we are of a Christian ministry, and we want that there all the time.
To realize all that, donations are needed. This year, Harmony House of Western Massachusetts was chosen to receive a grant from the annual Catholic Appeal, but much more financial help is necessary.
So if people can find in their heart how they can help, we would greatly appreciate it. We did get $5,000, for which we were grateful. Every donation is a blessing to us.
Once the permanent Harmony House location opens, Ruth says more volunteers will be needed to care for, cook, clean, read to, and pray with residents in their final days. I'm Kathy Harrington for Reel to Reel.
And Harmony House is one of several agencies, ministries, and services funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal. Joining me now is a very familiar face to many, Passionist brother Terrence Scanlon, the host of the weekly televised Mass, the Chalice of Salvation. Welcome, Brother Terry.
Thank you, Sharon.
So, Brother Terry, your long-running program receives substantial support from the annual Catholic Appeal, and over the years you have met and spoken with many Chalice viewers. What does it mean for them to have the Mass televised every Sunday?
One of the most common responses that you get from people when I visit nursing homes and hospitals in their own homes is that the Mass comes into their homes. They see various priests throughout our diocesan community that are in different parishes when they bring their own parish communities to Chalice for our tapings. Supporting the annual Catholic Appeal and the many ministries of which we are one, it helps get the message out to the people throughout our diocesan community and the various ministries that we do. I think we show the people of the diocese through our programs of Chalice and Reel to Reel the healthy part of our diocesan communities by the various ministries. Also, all are supported by the annual Catholic Appeal.
And next week, Chalice will be honoring a very special member of your production team.
Yes, next week we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Marie Renaud, one of our faithful co-founder with her husband, Albert Renaud, who joined Father Fidelis Rice, the very first program in 1957. And she's been with us ever since, responsible for the camera look of the Chalice program, from the resting the altar and the entire look behind the scenes of our Chalice program. She makes sure that the altar is right. She greets the people that come in for readers, communion, gift bearers, and she's just a wonderful, pleasant person to greet our people when they come in for our Chalice Studio Masses.
All right, our best wishes to Marie, and thanks so much for joining us today, Brother Terry.
Thank you, Sharon.
And you can make your donation to the annual Catholic Appeal anytime at diospringfield.org. Follow the link to our secure online donation portal. That's diospringfield.org. And still to come on Reel to Reel, Mark Giza has his picks for Oscar night. And Dan Dumas has the latest news from the Diocese of Springfield. These stories and more are still to come on Reel to Reel.
Slow to anger, rich in kind.
The Chalice of Salvation, your weekly spiritual connection. My passionate brother Terrence Scanlon, your Chalice host, inviting you to take time out of your busy days and join us Sunday morning. We welcome Father Yerrick Mendez as our presider and celebrate Catholic Scouting. The Chalice of Salvation, Sunday mornings at 10 on 22 News WWLP, and coming up next on Albany's Fox 23 WXXA.
Come to Providence Place, owned by the Sisters of Providence for retirees looking for an ideal rental setting to continue their active, independent lifestyles. We offer bright 1- and 2-bedroom apartments, a magnificent chapel with daily mass, restaurant-style dining, wellness and entertainment programs, all with a friendly community spirit on beautiful grounds. Call for a tour, 413-534-9700.
St. Michael's Academy, where a dynamic curriculum meets enriched learning, where morals are instilled and confidence is boosted, where lasting relationships are nurtured and safety is priority. St. Michael's Academy.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel news briefs. The parish community of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart in Springfield is gathering around one of their own families, whose daughter has been missing since the end of January. The family of 15-year-old Daisy Matos is heartbroken and hoping that someone will come forward with information that will lead to her safe return. With heavy hearts, friends and family members of a missing teenager gathered at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Church in Springfield last week for a vigil, offering prayers for the family of 15-year-old Daisy Matos, a member of the parish. Police say the teen appears to have run away January 30th. They are focusing their investigation in the Boston area. Father Ryan Rooney is the pastor of Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Parish.
One of our superstar families here is missing their 15-year-old girl who's in our religious education classes, and she has been missing since January 30th. And still no word of where she is.
Father Rooney says praying to Jesus through the Blessed Sacrament is powerful as they lift up this heartbroken family.
We're just storming heaven with our prayers. It's what we know how to do here. So we're gathered here around her family to pray, to be before our Eucharistic Lord in adoration, and to pray the Rosary. To cover this family with our prayers and our love.
2 parishioners led the Rosary. After benediction, parishioners surrounded the Matos family and prayed over them. Francisco Rosario is a family friend. Rosario and his wife are in a couple's prayer group with Daisy Matos' parents at Our Lady of the Sacred Heart Parish.
Said on the scriptures, we got to pray good times and bad times, and that's what we're here for, to pray for, our brothers in Christ, in this tough moment that they're going through. It's the best thing you can do, for a family.
Matos is 5 feet 4 inches tall. Anyone with information is asked to call the Springfield Police Department at 413-788-6360. Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield held a holy hour for life on a recent Sunday, with hundreds of people praying for the unborn. The holy hour was organized in response to the recent New York legislation legalizing abortion through the end of the 3rd trimester. Carolee McGrath has our story.
Music ministry group Psalm 33 led people in song at Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield on a recent Sunday night, where more than 650 people came together on relatively short notice to storm the gates for the protection of life.
I think so many people have been so affected by the news recently that started in New York with the signing of the new legislation extending abortion rights right up to the moment of birth. And it seems to be moving around the country now. And I just felt like we needed to do something fairly immediately to try to come together. People were asking, what can we do? And I think we always want to begin with prayer.
Many other states, including Massachusetts, are considering similar measures. Bishop Rozansky delivered the welcome.
Now given an even wider and wider range of when abortion can take place. In New York, it's even up to birth. That this is the slippery slope that we're dealing with. And we as Catholics, as Christians, as people who are pro-life, we need to stand with all of our brothers and sisters of every faith, and even of no faith, who truly believe that this expansion of so-called abortion rights is really infanticide.
The Holy Hour included Eucharistic adoration, praise and worship music, and benediction.
Pro-Mary equals pro-life.
Joe Goring, a former Marian missionary of Divine Mercy, addressed the crowd after adoration. As a Marian missionary, Goring spent a year living in community. As part of their mission, he spent time in New York and Boston with homeless men and women living on the street.
God's mercy says that there's mercy and healing for everybody. Jesus came down and died for all of our sins, not just a few of them. And healing is so necessary, and so many people have been hurt so deeply by abortion, as well as people family members, and it's just God's mercies for everybody.
16-year-old Ariana Roldan sings with Psalm 33.
I don't think any baby, no matter what age, should be, killed for any reason. They can't speak for themselves. You as a mom, you made that choice. Even if you didn't intend for that to happen, that child shouldn't be seen as a burden. It should be seen as something that's good and like a gift.
In addition to Ariana, many youth from all over Western Mass attended.
I think it's important to help those who can't help themselves, and God puts people on earth for a certain reason.
And so many people offered up their prayers for hearts to change. Reporting from Westfield, I'm Carolee McGrath.
Thanks, Carolee. The annual Scouting Recognition Sunday Mass was held earlier this month, where individual scouts were honored for their achievements. But the big news occurred on the national level, where scouts at all levels will be impacted by some major changes that were recently implemented. Steve Goltanek tells us more.
On February 2nd, a special Mass was held at St. Michael's Cathedral for Scouting Recognition Sunday. Troops from across Western Mass, along with members of the Boy Scouts of America, or BSA leadership team, gathered to celebrate Mass with Springfield Bishop Mitchell Rozansky. Scout Executive and CEO John Echevarria, recently appointed from San Antonio, spoke about the historic moment that took place within the BSA the day before.
We're allowing young ladies, 11 years old to 18, just become a boy, part of the Scouts BSA program. So they'll be able to get the same advancements and do the same things boys their age would be able to do and earn their Eagle Scout Award. The 109-year history of the Boy Scouts of America, this year being 109, this is the first time we're doing that.
Echevarria expects that at least 40 girls will join the Scouts BSA Western Mass Council this year.
We've always had girls in the program since the early 70s, but it was specific ages from 14 to like 20, and now we're just expanding our programs to allow young ladies of all ages.
Last year, girls ages 5 to 10 were allowed to join the boys' Cub Scouts program. Girl and Boy Scout troops, however, will still remain separate.
We want to be able to grow our programs and make sure every eligible kid has an opportunity to join Scouting. We give leadership, adventure, service, and so those are good values that we want our kids to have.
According to Cheryl Isaac, most boys are on board with the changes.
I spoke to a few boys at camp last year in preparation for this. They think it's wonderful that their sisters can participate in the same program, earn Eagle, do all the activities. This is for family scouting. This is what families have been asking for, that they can come to one chartering organization and all of the youth can participate in the scouting program.
Javier Herrera from Troop 275 in East Longmeadow attended the Mass with his brother Juan. Javier joined the Cub Scouts in first grade and this past year moved up to the Boy Scouts.
We're learning how to cook, we're learning how to do the tents, we're learning how to, be part of a team and be a leader.
Javier has been enjoying all the activities the Boy Scouts offer.
There's a lot of campouts and different events that it's very enjoyable. But for right now, my favorite event that's been happening is Mass Jam in Cape Cod. It's very fun. It's just a great experience.
Javier and Juan, along with Giovanni DeRocher and Zach Restucci, were recognized at the Mass for achieving Light of Christ Awards. The Light of Christ emblems are given out to help Cub Scouts develop a personal relationship with Jesus with their parents' assistance and participation. The highlight of the Mass occurred when Bishop Rosansky blessed the boys for their well-earned awards.
So that the power of your love will enable them to accomplish all that is good. For we ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
And remember to keep informed on all the latest news on the Catholic Church, locally and beyond. Log on to iobserve.org. There you can read articles written by our Catholic communications staff, as well as view archived episodes of Real to Real. That's iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and those are your Real to Real news briefs.
Well, we sure have had our share of snow and cold temperatures lately, and if you are feeling cooped up and want a fun night out, St. Bridget's Church in Amherst is the place to be on March 1st for their annual Mardi Gras reverse raffle. Joining me now is John Leonard, chairperson of the event, to tell us more. Hello, John. How's it going?
Great, Sharon. Thanks for having me.
So, John, St. Bridget's Mardi Gras Reverse Raffle is always an exciting and important fundraiser for the parish. What will be happening on the night of March 1st?
It's a reverse raffle with a chance to win $3,000. We start at 6 o'clock on Friday, March 1st. We have a wonderful hors d'oeuvres cocktail hour where we get to meet new people, new friends, spend some time together, have a wonderful buffet meal, including carving stations of turkey, roast beef, and then we get into the reverse raffle. And throughout the evening, you have an opportunity to win different prizes. For instance, we have Red Sox tickets, and they're coming off the World Series. We have area college athletic gear, restaurants, gift certificates. We even have some tickets to the UMass hockey team, which is doing extremely well right now, and it's a hard ticket to get, with the ultimate prize of being $3,000.
And if people would like to go, where can they get tickets?
They certainly can call me at any time, 413-687-7920, and I'll be happy to return the call and give them some information and get their ball assignment for the reverse raffle.
All right, John Leonard from St. Bridget's Parish in Amherst. We hope that everyone has a wonderful time and that the fundraiser is a success.
Thanks, Sharon.
And again, if you would like tickets to the 9th annual Mardi Gras Reverse Raffle, we have all of the information on iobserve.org.
Light the candles and fill the punch bowl because it's Oscar time. Here are my predictions for this year's Academy Awards. Best Supporting Actress, Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk. Just a wonderful performance in a film that nobody saw. I did and loved it. She is a shoo-in.
We are drinking to new life. Tish gonna have Fonny's baby.
Best Supporting Actor, Mahershala Ali for Green Book gave a great performance, but he just won 2 years ago. My choice is Richard Grant in Can You Ever Forgive Me? A great performance in many layers.
I just come from having my teeth bleached. How do they look?
Why would you do that?
Oh, teeth are a dead giveaway.
Okay.
If I buy you a drink, even though you're the posh writer?
Thank you.
Craigie?
Best Actress. Again, in my mind, Lady Gaga blew me away in this year's Star is Born. But this year's Oscar will go to Glenn Close for The Wife. Nothing against Glenn's performance, it was great. But this is her 7th nomination, so give her the Oscar already.
You know, Joni, you can't be doing this. You can't be showing up at functions with alcohol on your breath.
You are the star of the big show, so why would anyone possibly care?
What the hell has gotten into you?
I don't like to be lectured to. I'm not a child.
Best Actor. Well, Bradley, you were my choice since Ethan Hawke did not get nominated. But this year it's going to be Rami Malek for a bloated, over-the-top performance in Bohemian Rhapsody. Okay, people like this film, and it did great at the box office, but I found it just too much and way too boring.
What's the lyric?
Best Film. For me, A Star is Born was the best film, followed by Green Book. But I think Roma will win. It's a good film, not a great one, but it has so many people behind it. If it wins Best Foreign Film, then Green Book may have a chance at this year's top prize.
¿Qué haces? Ya dime.
No puedo, estoy muerta. Oye, me gusta estar muerta.
And you can see my reviews, as well as read other movie reviews provided by the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops online at iobserve.org. That's iobserve.org. And there may be some upsets this year. Spike Lee may win an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for BlacKkKlansman, and Best Picture could go to Black Panther. Who knows? And I would love to see Lady Gaga win an Oscar, but it's Glenn's turn. I'm Mark Giza for Real Culture. Have a fabulous weekend.
Well, we will see who takes home the Oscars on Sunday night. And for this week, that's Reel to Reel. As we said off the top of our show, the annual Catholic Appeal is now underway. This is an opportunity to make your donation impact the lives of so many of our neighbors here in Western Massachusetts. More than 40 ministries and agencies benefit from your support, including this programming from Catholic Communications. Why not take a minute now and go online at diospringfield.org and make your donation. That's diospringfield.org, and we certainly thank you in advance. And remember, you can also find updates anytime, as well as information and news on the Catholic Church at iobserve.org. We update our Facebook daily with news of what our reporters are working on, so check us out and friend us at Catholic Communications. See you next time for another edition of Reel to Reel, your window on the world around you.
Reel to Reel is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.